We understand that there are so many people out there who are not living to their fullest potential because of their personal finances. The Philadelphia Wealth Project is a collaborative group of real estate agents, experienced investors, and soon-to-be investors who have a burning desire to help each other create wealth through real estate. Our area of focus is the suburbs of Philadelphia, and our goal is to highlight what it's like to invest here. The mission of the Philadelphia Wealth Project is to help create $100 million in wealth over the next 5 years. Now let's get into the podcast.
All right, today, guys, we are going to be talking about how to get into action in 2023. Get a rental property under your belt. If you don't have one yet, how do you get your first one?
Oh, I love it. How do you do it? Are you actually asking? I don't know.
I feel like it's like when I was in middle school and I was trying to get a girl, you know?
How do you get this is how you get a girl.
It's like, how do you get your first one? It's like, can't get over that hump, you know? So
no pun intended.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. You know, it's like, like Beavis is like, I'm never going to score.
Good reference.
Yeah, exactly. So how
Rob,
do you score?
What's new with you, man? How's everything going?
Good. I'm doing okay. I'm like irritated today because just little things, just like trying to get my permits.
Don't sweat the small stuff, man.
I'm trying not to. I'm not even sweaty at all, but it's just like, it's like, I'm just like, all right, I got to just keep after things. My project's going pretty good.
Nice.
We're moving along, drywalled in the bathroom. We got almost all the electrical roughed in, all the plumbing's roughed in. Cabinets are getting delivered while I'm away, of course. So that's fun. I'll have to figure that out.
Are you within the timeline you want it to be and budget still?
I think so. I mean,
that's good.
I pulled some stuff out of scope. And then some stuff came into scope, but I think we're on time. I mean,
good.
Probably going to be done hopefully early to mid-February.
Nice.
Yeah, so not too bad.
That's exciting.
Yeah, dude, it's exciting. It's good, hanging in there.
And as soon as that one's done, on to the next, right?
Yeah, just got to keep it moving. How's everything going with you?
Pretty good. Yeah, the short-term rentals, so they're coming to an end of the year. So for our first full year, for the Keats retreat. So
nice.
That's exciting.
How'd it do?
55,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah. And then the other one we bought in July is not as much, which is interesting. And I'm trying to figure out, I've been doing a lot of like research to try and figure out what the heck is going on. I have this app that I use called Rank Breeze. And it shows you where your property ranks, like what page of Airbnb.
Oh.
Yeah. And the second one, it's usually around like page 6 or 7 or 8.
That's way back. Maybe
nobody's looking at page 6, 7, or 8.
Do you think it's because of review count?
No, I don't. I don't know what it is. I'm trying to figure it out.
Gotcha.
But it's life.
Yeah, I know.
They're making money still. Even a little bit's better than nothing. Right?
Yeah, I know.
So that's all good.
Yeah, Florida's rented from like January 8th to August 6th, and then but it's like, it's quiet. It's been really quiet for a while. So I'm just like, I don't know exactly where. I probably should be paying attention more.
Probably should. So the podcast today, we're going to talk about how to get in action 2023 and buy your first investment. Yeah. So do like a quick cliff notes of what to do. Tell everyone right now.
What should you do?
Yeah.
Well, let's just walk it backwards. Okay.
No, they need to know the short version.
Yeah.
Make offers.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it like this, all right, so let's just walk it back from like, I'm closed on a property. So what did you do before that? You were under contract. Before that, you made an offer. Before that, you were looking at houses. Before that, you're probably talking to me and getting a showing set up and getting a search set up and getting your criteria nailed down. So it's that simple. Right. Okay. When you walk it through, right. If you're really just getting into action. Now there might be some stuff, I think, in the beginning about money, which is probably where a lot of people feel like they've at least created a roadblock for themselves.
Yeah, I feel like that's where most people stop.
Right.
Right. They get super excited. They see the possibility, and then they're like, well, how am I going to buy it?
Right. I think there's two, and let's talk about maybe two different people. Let's say you've got the first-time home buyer, and then you've got somebody who maybe owns a home and that's looking to get into real estate investing.
Okay.
I'd say there's like the two basic people, right, that are going to be investing. Now, the first time home buyer actually has an advantage because they can do like owner occupier, potentially like on a multifamily or a single,
Right.
get into that first house and then maybe house hack it with roommates, or maybe they're getting a duplex, triplex, squad, and having some people live there or something
Right.
like that. And they've got some financing advantages where they don't need as much money out of pocket. Then you've got the homeowner, and they're going to need more money out of pocket because they're not going to go primary residence. So you're
Right.
looking like 20, 25% down plus closing costs. So, you're going to need like 25 to 30% of the cost in quote unquote
Cash,
baby.
cash money. Right.
I love cash.
Me too.
But, and then they say to themselves, well, I don't got that. Right? Or I don't want to pull that out, or my stocks are down, or whatever. Right. So then it's like, well, what do you do? And I think that the thing that a lot of people are missing in terms of if you own a property, almost guaranteed that it's worth more than you paid for it
Very true.
at this point, just because the whole market appreciated substantially.
Right.
So you should be able to access a line of credit against that property to then buy your investment property with no money out of pocket.
Right. Yeah. It's pretty much what we did when we were the, I think we would have been the second of what you talked about. So we already owned a home, and what we did was we bought our new home with an FHA loan, 3.5% down. And then since I'm a licensed real estate agent, I was able to negotiate a seller assist and then use my commission to have substantially less out of pocket.
You must have probably had nothing bringing to the table.
It was like 20 grand,
Okay.
which is nice.
That's not bad.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we just used the home that we owned and turned that into our first rental.
Yeah.
So,
That's cool.
yeah. I mean, that's an avenue that people can take, especially if they're licensed and, if you can negotiate seller assist, which I think you can.
You can
Right now?
Yeah, you're
Right?
I had 4 buyers go under contract last week, and 3 out of the 4 were under list price. So
Whoa.
yeah.
So essentially you could have went, and this is what I did. I went in at asking and then just asked for 3%.
Yeah, the opportunities are starting to present themselves now.
I love that.
We had interest rates dip up to, or spike up, I guess, around like 7-ish, like 7.25, 7.5, and they're back down again in the high 5s.
Right.
But most buyers don't realize that. Right?
They're not paying attention.
Right. They read the news story when it spiked up really high, and then there's no news story when it drops,
Right.
and because it's not sensational.
And they just get out.
Yeah, and then they give up, right? So then it's like they're out, but that's fine from my perspective, because then I'm like, all right, opportunity is a knock-in,
Right. And that was one of the things I wanted to ask about. Like, what do you think do you think there will be more opportunities in 2023 than there were in 2022? Something that I have been reading recently is that there are more opportunities in commercial or multifamily foreclosures than there is in residential. And I thought that was very interesting.
Are they talking about big commercial multifamily or?
Yeah, like, 5 or more units or townhome projects or townhome complexes, things like that.
I was hearing about that because of the way that those are financed.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, they're balloons generally, right? 5-year, they reset after 5 years, right?
Right.
And a lot of people, the people who bought 5 years ago, they bought at a very favorable interest rate.
Right. And then they've got like adjustable rates, and they're adjusting up, and
now they're going to reset. Exactly. They're going to reset. So their interest rate could go up 2%, 3%, 4%. So there might be more opportunities there. And, I think a lot of first time investors probably aren't looking at that, but I think that's something that you can look at and you should look at.
Yeah, I mean, that could be something maybe we'll be looking at ourselves, I would say.
Yeah.
Because obviously wherever there's distress, there's opportunity. And it's unfortunate, people were just so aggressive in how they bought property with the interest rates low, and didn't necessarily have a game plan for if they weren't. Right.
Yeah, they weren't expecting interest rates to double.
It's like the most aggressive rate hike in history, so I can understand that. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting. In terms of, let's just say, focusing on the first time investor.
Right.
I think there is going to be a ton of opportunity in 2023. I mean, there was good opportunity in 2022.
Right.
I always say everything's deal to deal, but I'm definitely feeling the market being much softer
Okay.
Feels like skishy.
Yeah. And you just said you got multiple people on their contract under the list price, which is huge, right?
I just had one close that appraised $85,000 above the deal. So the person had paid 3 months ago had paid $660 and we got it for $560. It was a new construction and they were just like needed to move and they just took our offer. So
wow.
They basically saved $100,000. Which I actually had another real estate agent I think that was involved in the project. She like messaged me. She's like, can you confirm this sales price? I was like, yeah, we kind of got a good deal.
That kind of stinks for the surrounding area.
Hey, it is what it is.
It is what it is. You're right.
It's my responsibilities to my client.
Right. And that's all that matters.
Yeah. And, but I'm seeing some good deals. We put a 5-bedroom in Ardmore twin under contract at $320.
Yeah.
Had multiple offers, but like we were the highest. It was listed for $340. So,
right.
And I'm like, this is a nice deal. I mean, I'm seeing stuff, where I'm seeing stuff is I love the live-in flip right now. Mm-hmm. I love the live-in flip because of the homeowner being deterred. I think more investors are still seeing the big picture. So when you're going for that straight, like small multifamily or straight rental property, there's still a fair level of competition.
Right.
But I think when you're going after the homeowner that needs the renovation, I think maybe a lot of the flippers are sitting back or being less aggressive because they're concerned about market turning and this and that.
Right. So if you're a buyer that is looking for a project and you're willing to live in it, fix it up, and then sell it in 2 years.
Right.
Those opportunities you think will be abundant or more so than there was in 2022?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've been seeing a lot of properties stay on the market for a little bit longer. There's one I've been looking at in the borough, and I'm like,
you better buy that Mama Gemma.
I know. It's been on the market for almost 3 months.
Dude, what are you doing?
I know.
It's waiting for you.
I know.
It's your deal.
Making a big mistake not going there.
I'm gonna ask you if you bought it tomorrow. If not, I'll slap you.
All right. Every day I don't make an offer. It'll be one slap.
I just give you a big slap. This is how I get kicked out of the brokerage.
Well, I slapped a broker at my last time.
Yeah. You don't want me? So I mean, I think what do you think about the opportunities in 2023? What do you feel?
I do think that there is going to be more opportunities, and I think that if agents or investors focus more so on going after the off-market opportunities, that's what I'm really leaning into in 2023. I feel like there will be more off-market opportunities that might not make it to the MLS, like people that could potentially be facing foreclosure or a short sale or what have you, and then it's just going to go to a short sale agent, or it's going to go back to the bank. But I feel like if you focus more on finding those opportunities, I think there will be more of those opportunities in 2023.
Yeah, I was thinking about, I had a situation recently with a homeowner who was going to sheriff's sale, and we were able to delay the sheriff's sale and get the home up and get it sold. It was actually in really nice condition, and it made sense to sell it on the market. However, I was also thinking about, there's probably a lot of people going to sheriff's sale that if they had just had the right guidance and the right person come in and help them delay the sheriff's sale, buy the house, if it needed work, they could buy it cash, and then the homeowner would get something out of it instead of just losing their shirt.
Right.
So like there's all these opportunities that are coming up to help people. I think like the foreclosure stuff is probably going to start trickling through from COVID, like in 2023.
Right.
Probably.
Yeah, I feel like we're that far out from when it stopped, right? We're 2.5 years from the mortgage moratorium, whatever the hell they called it.
Yeah, foreclosure moratorium.
Yeah, foreclosure. Yeah, I feel like we're about 2.5 years out.
Yeah.
So I think those are going to start happening, which is going to create more opportunities, but at the same time, it sucks, right? It sucks for the people that are in that position. And then also with inflation being so high and everything being so expensive, I think more people will think about selling their home, right? Just to potentially keep up.
Yeah, I think that's possible.
Sucks.
It does. I mean, we're all dealing with when I go to the grocery store, I like have to check my receipt like a couple times now.
It's like $300 a week.
Yeah, I know. I mean, obviously, like, we're financially blessed people and we can handle it, but yeah, a lot of people aren't going to be able to absorb that. And it is really tough to see. It's definitely heartbreaking. I mean, I always think it's just like, obviously, how can you help people in tough situations best you can and fairly? But anyway, I mean, I think like there's going to be some of that. I think there's going to be, like you said, some on market stuff. Sometimes I like on market. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like it's just there, Yeah. And it's like,
it's more easily accessible. Right.
It's easy. Yeah. The person wants to sell. They've been maybe up for a long time. They're overpriced, or you can see aggressive price drops or some indication that, sometimes the agent just writes motivated seller in the description. Yeah. And the one that I got 100K off, I think said that.
There you go.
So, I mean, and you can tell, I mean, you can look at these houses online, you can see they're beat up or whatever it is, and just, make offers and make a lot of offers. But, the thing is, we're talking about getting into action. Right. What do you think stops people from taking action? Because obviously the actions are relatively simple.
The actions are simple. To me, it's really a poor mindset around it. People just aren't really truly motivated to make it happen. And I think that when you have a poor mindset, like, people can get really excited for a short period of time. That's what it is. They get really excited I did it in the beginning. I get really excited for a short period of time, and then the roadblocks start coming up, and then you don't have a way to break through them, which is usually like having a professional to help you. You don't have Rob Lawrence to help you break through the roadblocks.
They should call me.
Seriously, they should. But that's what it is. People get super excited really quick. Yeah. They face some kind of challenge, and then they don't have the right people to help them overcome the challenge. Yeah. That's what it is to me, and that goes from not having the money to do it, not feeling ready to be a landlord and to deal with tenants, whatever it is, but I think people just run into that roadblock. They don't have the right people to help them get over it.
I was thinking about it too, like from a fear perspective, right? Mm-hmm. There's obviously like fear, there's faith, right? I think those two things can kind of like be on opposite ends of the spectrum. Like, do you have faith that the market's going to be what it's going to be? Do you believe you're going to get a renter? Do you believe you're going to figure it out? Right. Do you believe in the market dynamics? Are you scared that there's going to be a market crash, that no one's going to rent your place, that for some reason everything's not going to work out for you, or you're not going to find a contractor, you're going to have to deal with this or whatever. Right. Like, I think my level of faith is high because of my experience level, my level of understanding, and that kind of thing. And it helps me to be able to lead people through that and kind of, I guess, have them borrow mine to get.
That's what a lot of people need. They just need that person that's in their life that is cheering them on. Like, you can do this. I've done it. I've been in the same exact position you have. And I have been able to get through it, to overcome it, and to start investing, right? Yeah. And people just need someone by their side to help them.
Absolutely. I think that's been something that like we've had with like Steve and other people in this brokerage. Exactly. To kind of help guide us and show us like, yeah, this could work out, and like this isn't just on TV. And we're doing a seminar February 11th, like a training seminar. Seminar sounds so boring. But
it does sound boring.
It's not,
Call it an intensive. We're having a February intensive.
But so we're going to do how to buy your first thing, and we'll have, I know it'll be good. I don't know exactly what it will be.
We don't know what it'll be, but we know it'll be good. Yeah, that's usually how it works, right?
Yeah, exactly. I know, like, we'll talk about financing. We'll talk about where to find money. We'll talk about how to get into action, how to create the buy box that you want. Right. Like, buy box is like your criteria, so you know what you're looking for and why. And, once you really understand that, and then, don't overcomplicate it, right?
That's a big one.
Yeah, like someone's like,
people, they'll overcomplicate anything.
Yeah, like
just to get them out of doing it.
Yeah, someone come to me and be like, I need a quad, 1 bedrooms in this area in Bryn Mawr, and it's got to be this tall and da da da. And I'm like, okay, so do you want to make money? Is that your goal?
Right.
Right. Like, let's bring it back to that. Like, and that's what I've been doing actually with a lot of people talking about those live and flips, because they're like, I want cash flow. And I was like, well, what if you get all your cash flow up front? You know what I mean? And they're like, well, what do you mean? I'm like, well, let's say you made $200,000 in equity gain on the front end, right? Like, how many months is that at $1,000 cash flow?
Right.
Like, oh,
It's a good way to look at it, right?
Yeah, it's like 16 years.
Yeah.
Right. So I've been talking to people about like everyone's looking like it's almost like everyone's looking at this and everybody's missing that.
Right.
Right. Like they're all like, well, the cash flow is not great. And I'm like, well, if you could do this and then you can improve it, you can then, pull all your money back out plus some, and then you're getting this big equity gain up front and it's going to cash flow a little bit. Right. But like, look at and I was talking to a guy who was investing in western and northern Pennsylvania, and he was getting really great cash flow.
Right.
And I was
probably not much appreciation there, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like his appreciation has been bad. So, or is projected to continue not to be great just because of the area. And I was just like, you should think about this in our area, because it's like you can make $70,000 pretty quickly, and then you move on to the next project.
Right.
And then it's like, he's like, oh, like, and his mind was totally opened. So again, I think staying flexible in approach and just seeing like what opportunities are available to me,
right?
That and that I don't have to create like a ton of roadblocks,
right? Yeah, a lot of what you're saying to me when I'm thinking about it, and then what comes to my mind is people just have a lack of clarity around why. Why do you want to start investing in real estate? And then if why, and you get really clear on why, you will be flexible. Like, yeah, you can say, okay, I want to buy a single family that's at least 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. But if you find something that is 2 bedrooms, with an area to create a 3rd bedroom, if you have clarity, if your goals are in alignment with your clarity, then you're going to be able to see that opportunity. And then at the same time, it's surrounding yourself with people who can help you see the opportunity when you're not seeing the opportunity.
Yeah. And I would say when I ask the question, why invest in real estate? I think it's simply the best way to build wealth and cash flow of any investment vehicle out there that I have found personally. And I think it's the simplest business. It's like you're buying a house and you're renting it out. It's like you don't have to invent anything. You don't have to patent anything. You don't have to set up any really complex business systems, work for 10 years before you're profitable or whatever, right? And it's like, it's easy to loan against. It's super easy to get leverage. There's no margin call, like in the stock market. So like there's, you can really do super high leverage for, and create a lot of wealth very quickly.
Right.
I've experienced that myself, which makes me so excited about that and wanting to share it with other people, because there's, it's like when you create this value and you create this wealth, it's not like you're taking it or like that's taking it from someone else. Right. It's like there's so much opportunity out there for everyone that's willing to do it. So anyway, I just think the reason why it's like, why do this? Why do this instead of stock market investing? Right?
Yeah. If you think about it, I think the majority of people who invest have their money in some other kind of investment would be in the stocks, right?
Yeah.
And you have no influence over that.
Right.
So if you look at real estate investing, it's still such a small portion of people who are actually real estate investors. So the opportunities to do so are still enormous because there's not that much competition in reality.
Yeah, there's not a lot of competition. Having control of the investment is like another huge thing, and like being able to buy low when the market's not low. Like with the stock market, I mean, I guess like some companies are undervalued relative to others and stuff like that, and looking at buying this and that. So I mean, look, I play with that, but like you really have the opportunity to like buy it low and improve it to market condition, and then like it's not like so dependent on market conditions. So the level of control in the business, and I think about it, buying a business, like that's kind of more what Warren Buffett's like, I don't buy stocks, I buy businesses. And like when you're buying real estate, like you're not, you should think about it as buying a business, right? And like the business you're creating. So there's a lot of control that you have around that, like whether you put a hot tub in or not, right? And like all those kinds of things. And, you're not as subject to the wind of what market's blowing what way or what is going the other way. And just the potential for wealth building is so much higher and so much faster. It's worth it. That's the thing that I want to just get to people's heads. It is so worth it to learn this stuff. It's going to be work, but believe me, like, you're going to start shaving 5 years, 10 years, 15 years off your retirement. Like,
you could retire at 40 if you want.
Very
45,
easily. Very easily. Especially if you're starting in your 20s. I mean, it's not
out of the question. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you think interest rates will be a deterrent in 2023 for potential investors? Or if you find a deal good enough, interest rates don't even really matter that much.
Yeah, I mean, what we've seen happen in interest rates, which a lot of people don't even know about because like the news like screamed when it went way up, is that they've come back down substantially, like over 1%, maybe 1.5% from their highs. So we're seeing that interest rates are not climbing more. They seem to be stabilizing. The Fed is basically saying they're going to stop increasing so fast and pivot back soon. So, I'm not expecting like huge interest rate increases in 2023, maybe just a leveling off or even a decrease.
Right.
So from my perspective, all I'm going to see it do is give me an opportunity to refinance some of my debts, get into fixed rates, and have more money to work with. So, I mean, from my perspective, the interest rate change is not going to be a big deal other than like we were talking about. And it's going to create some opportunities to people that are stuck, with their pants down, and the water's going out, know? So, you'll see some people like that, but obviously like, you never want to be like so tight that you can't handle any market shift or any market condition. And I mean, if interest rates were to go up quite a bit, it's going to create even more opportunity.
Right.
So it's like, you just have to, it's like you can't be victim.
You can find opportunity in any market.
Any market, any conditions.
Any conditions you can find opportunity, which is, that's why I love real estate too.
Yeah.
And I think that as far as interest rates, I always go back to, if you can find a deal that's good enough that you can buy at a 6% interest rate, still make money in forced depreciation, and then still cash flow. If the interest rate went up to 7%, you're still in a good spot. It's really, to me, it all comes down to aligning yourself with the right people and then finding the right deals.
Yeah. And I think almost knowing in your heart everything's going to work out for the best.
Right.
Is like, again, back to the faith element for me. Like, I just know, okay, like I'm going to do this. And if I run into any challenges or roadblocks, I will adapt and figure it out. Mm-hmm. Right. I mean, obviously don't do something stupid, and like
100% financing.
Yeah. Well, that, or you just don't have any cash in reserve, or you don't have any plan. If this or that happens, you don't, you want to be in a good, strong position, but like, the thing is getting started, getting that first one under your belt is going to propel you forward if you stay in it. I've seen people get their first one and stop. Frustrating sometimes because I'm like, come on, man. Like,
let's go.
You just made $100,000. Like,
let's get two.
Why are you not doing it again? Right. But some people just do that. But I think in general, if you can get certain people they get an action on one, they understand it, they learn, then they get an action in another. And I always say, like, first one doesn't have to be a complete home run.
Right.
Could be a single, could be a double, could be a home run. But like, do something simple, basic, not over the top, crazy. Like, just get in.
Just get acclimated with what it's like to own an investment property. That's what I think. I think that's a fantastic way to look at it. Last thing, how can people stay motivated despite what's happening in the market? Because there's a lot of people out there that are listening to what the experts are saying and the national media and the housing crash that should have happened for 5, 6, 7, 8 years now at this point. So how does someone really stay motivated?
I'm so motivated. It's kind of a hard question for me because I'm just like, why not be motivated?
Always, because you're always motivated, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, like,
we're thinking from the perspective of someone who thought about it in 2022. They're like, yeah, real estate investing would be a great idea.
Yeah.
But now we're going into 2023 and the inventory is still really low. Affordability is at its peak. It seems like that it's been in years and inflation and higher interest rates, right? All this stuff when you think about it. So how do you really stay motivated?
Yeah, I think inflation's your friend, but I would say that from my perspective, you have to think about all the things that you've lost by not investing. You know, I was just talking with a guy the other day. It's like, we could have bought this house for $365. It's probably worth like, I don't know, $465 or $5 right now. And I think it was like right before COVID we were looking, and you know, that's frustrating. And I almost feel like, oh, did I fail that client by not pushing them hard enough? But like, I think, yeah. And you think about like, hey, I'm going to this day job. Like, I'm going to have to work till I'm 65 or 70. Right. I'm sacrificing a lot to save money and not living the lifestyle I want to live. And I think the motivation comes from what you're losing by not doing it. For me anyway.
FOMO. Right?
How do you say, like, fear of having to work my ass off for the rest of my life at a job I hate? What's the acronym for that? We gotta write that one down.
Yeah, I think a great way for people to stay motivated, is to get your mindset out of right now and focus on what your life could be 3, 5, 10 years from now if you get started right now. If you stop worrying about, oh my gosh, well, right now there's all these things that are against me. But if you think about, if I buy this property and then I buy the next one next year, and then I buy 2 in the 3rd year and 4 in the 4th year and 5 in the 5th year, right? What's my life going to be like 10 years from now?
You know, I was listening to a guy talk, I forget his name, but he was talking about the future you. Is the future you going to be happy with the present you? And think about how the future you is going to feel about your current decision making, right? And like, what's the likely outcome of the future you? Like, thinking, like,
right. It's a great way to think about it.
Was 2023 Rob a good Rob to 2026 Rob?
I love it.
Yeah, man.
So closing thoughts.
Closing thoughts are, come to the seminar February 11th and get around people that are doing it. Get in community. We've got also a meetup January 11th, second Wednesday every month. So get in community with other real estate investors so that this normalizes for you and you start to understand what other people are doing. We hold a ton of events. You know, you can always reach out to Sean and I, you know, to get started with real estate investing. Both are very helpful, experienced people, and we make a living from helping you guys doing this,
right?
And we're doing it ourselves, so it's like we're not dentists with no teeth. You know what I mean?
Trying to become a dentist.
You ever go to a dentist with no teeth?
Never.
I would
never once.
I would leave.
I would too. Like, yep, I ain't working. I thought you said dentist at first. I was like, dentist with no teeth. That's
there's probably some dentists.
There's a lot of dentists out there with no teeth. Yeah. So closing thoughts on my end. Same. Talk to Rob. Come to the meetup on the 11th, January 11th.
Yeah.
That's at Timothy's in Westchester.
6:45 p.m.
6:45 p.m. And then February 11th.
Yeah, that's going to be like on a Saturday afternoon, like 1 to 4.
1 to 4?
1 to 4, I think.
Not 10 to 2.
Well, maybe we could do 10 to 2.
All right.
We got to talk about that.
I'm not going to set a time. That's all on you. That's your thing. But yeah, and it's really, I'll say this probably until I die. It's always about surrounding yourself with people who are doing what you want to do.
Absolutely. Number one
where
life
you
hack.
Want to be. Yep.
Yeah.
Number one life hack. That's true.
Exactly. So, all right, guys. Well, I hope this was helpful in understanding how to get your first property. We're not only, you know, just teaching this on a podcast. We will physically help you do it. So we're here to make it a reality and to put you into action and get things going. So hope that's helpful.
Yep. I think it was.
Good. Subscribe, like.
All the good stuff. All right. Take care, guys.